Meghan Markle here.
Today is June 11th, 2025. It is 3:03 a.m. So I just finished edit whatever I recorded yesterday. So now I am going to focus on some new tweets. I'm gonna leave some of the tweets that I gathered when I came back from vacation. Maybe at some point I might come back to them. Okay, like these. They are a lot. Okay, they are a lot, but since they are old news, many of you probably already know what went on after Meghan released her products, so I'm gonna leave them alone for now, unless there's nothing new that is being discussed on Twitter. Then I'll go back to them. But other than that, I'm gonna focus on new revelation, things that's happening. And some of you probably already know, I post some of them on my community board. It's about that I think it's Kate's dresser, whatever her title is, who's leaving. And then some of the squad found out that that particular person who was working for Kate or whatever, the royals, was following a lot of Meghan's friends, contact list sort of, Abigail, those kind of things. So pretty much the squad have been that Kate have been copying whatever she wears. So this is what I'll be focusing on. So there are a lot of tweets about that. So let's go on Twitter. I don't know if the first tweet is making reference to that or... Okay, so this is the background. This video here I recorded yesterday. Yeah, it's very sad. I showed a picture, but I didn't really go onto that tweet regarding the Palestinian young boy with the baby. It's very sad of what's going on over there. Okay, so we are on Twitter. I put this on the list, I believe. Yeah, it's on the list. So let's start with what I have first. Okay, so this is a TikTok video. I will be getting into the contact information. The lady who was working with Kate, who's leaving, we'll get to that because I have a lot of tweet about it. I start adding and adding. So this one was the first one. All right, first tweet. They called Kate, quote, the Duchess of Dolittle, and it wasn't just about her workload. Staff described a cold, unwelcoming environment, especially toward Meghan. But sure, tell me more about how she's the gracious one. All right, there's all those hashtags. All right, let's listen. It is, how many minutes? 1 minute and 14 seconds. Screenshots, okay?
Let's talk about something that rarely makes the headlines, because it's been expertly buried beneath palace PR, pearl-clutching tabloid tears, and relentless smear campaigns against Meghan. In 2021, The Times reported the staff at Kensington Palace had a little nickname for Catherine, Princess of Wales, the Duchess of Dolittle. Ouch. But it wasn't just about workload. It was about atmosphere. Cold, tense, icy. Think less Disney princess, more Miranda Priestley in a coat dress.
Oh
Behind the carefully curated image of grace and poise is a long trail of whispers. Former staff allegedly described the environment as anything but warm, especially if your name started with Meghan and ended with media scapegoat. And while the world was busy dissecting Meghan's every breath, Catherine's reputation as palace mean girl quietly tiptoed past the radar. But the nickname stuck. Not just because of what she did or didn't do, but because of what it reflected. A royal hierarchy that rewards silence, punishes difference, and shields those who play the part. So next time someone tries to tell you Meghan was the problem, remind them, Kate didn't just do little, she allegedly did the most.
The most. Okay, that's why no one in Hollywood wants to work
Let's
with...
talk about something that rarely...
That's why no one in Hollywood wants to work with Turkey. Oh, please.
Harry and Meghan are incredibly marketable. I'd call them the new young Obamas. They're going to make an ungodly amount of money, and you know what? They literally could become billionaires over the next 20 years. If either of them came on Shark Tank, I wouldn't even wait for them to pitch. I'd be like, I'm in, whatever you want, yes, because they are so marketable. It'll be so easy to develop products and projects for them, with them, and around them. It'd be yes, yes. Can you hook it up?
If you were at the drawing board for their next moves, what would it look like?
Like, first of all, it's speeches. I mean, if the Obamas get $500,000 or $1 million a speech, they're going to get at least $150,000 to $250,000 a speech, and they get to go out there and network. So that's number one. Number two, you go to Netflix, then play them off against Amazon Prime, and play them off against Apple TV, and play them off against Hulu.
So many,
and,
right?
Yeah, and you
bidding war,
and you get a production deal for movies and TV shows, and then from there, you raise your kids, right? Because doing it that way, you get to set your own schedule, and as normal as they can be, and wherever they want to live, and however they want to live, they'll have that option without being, having to figure out what they're going to do with the royal family.
So many people wants to work with Meghan and Harry. All right, let's see here. I think people enjoy the veneer of royalty or wealth or the sense of security and royalty to a group they think will confer protection and status regardless of the actual character of the persons they say they admire. What has she done? For it's little for sure. She did the most as the greatest beneficiary of anti-blackness in the UK. All the bullying allegations were probably about Kate. Jason Kenoff most likely used the bullying Kitty did and replace it with Meghan as a last-ditch effort to make Meghan look bad before the Oprah interview. What happened to that investigation? I'm still waiting for the results. They claimed that they're closing that, or they didn't make the finding public. If they did find something, how much, noise they'll be making about that. They probably will still be talking about it. Okay, I read all the Meghan trolls posts and a stuffy ass British accent. There's the clap here, Boozy 2.0. What will you know from your pigeonhole? Okay, you're disgusting. Okay, they're not gonna like the truth anyway. So let's move on. Next tweet. They don't like the truth. These people. Copy. Okay, let's pause. Something is happening here. Next tweet. The blueprint. As ever, Meghan. I think I posted that on my community board. Okay, so pretty. Okay, that's an ad. I love that look. My girl Duchess Meghan. Gorgeous as ever. Exactly. So next tweet. Okay, I sort of mentioned this in one of my videos. I can't believe this. I mean, let's just give her prop where prop is due. She worked her butt off to be where she's at. Like Harry said, she left bodies on the street to get there.
That she started a campaign in the British press to pave the way for a marriage, and you wrote, I even wanted Camilla to be happy. Maybe she'd be less dangerous if she was happy.
Mm-hmm.
How was she dangerous?
Because of the need for her to rehabilitate her image.
That made her dangerous.
That made her dangerous because of the connections that she was forging within the British press. And there was open willingness on both sides to trade of information. And with a family built on hierarchy, and with her on the way to being Queen Consort, there was going to be people or bodies left in the street because of that.
There is no need to grovel to monarchy unless Camilla arrives with her posse. The modern monarchy. Alright, let's watch. 26 seconds. Okay, I'm muted. Look at the lady in the back telling this woman doesn't deserve any respect. Telling freaking idiot. That would have been the last time I want to be in that box. Well, this is the thing. What happened? People wants to be, and that they elevate themselves. Okay, the royal family, they elevate themselves, make them feel above everybody else, and then they make it somewhat rare, like it's gold, it's so precious, and not everybody can be in that circle. And Trump has used that same mentality with his business aspect, and it worked for him. All right, so the royal family did the same thing. They elevate themselves, put themselves that high above everybody else, and then now the gullibles wants to be in that circle. Okay, and then they disrespect you if you come in that circle. So this is what happened. This woman, it's like the bottom feeder of bottom feeder. She does not deserve any respect. Idiot. Idiot. Alright, so let's see here. Imagine going to Ramadan and getting poked in the royal box. There's me here. That's what I posted. Diana forever. Her thing could have been much brighter. Alright, anyone for tennis? Okay, I correct myself, Ben. Quite right too. Basic good manners to stand when the queen arrives, not groveling. Oh, please. This woman? This woman? Oh. I guess all these people deserve the embarrassment that she's giving them because they allowed it to happen. Okay, basic good manners used to mean standing up for the little ladies while keeping them tied to the kitchen sink with their legs apart. Oh my God. People less vulgar than Not My King call it the golden pedestal. They don't listen to bishops that patronize them these days. Okay, in the UK, it's considered courteous for a man to stand when a woman is getting... But this one does not deserve any respect in my eyes. To what she did to Princess Diana, to be in a marriage, destroy the marriage, and continue destroying things.
I walk into the house and stick my hand out to Camilla for the first time and think, phew, got over that. We were all upstairs and I was chatting away and I suddenly noticed that there was no Camilla, no Charles upstairs. So this disturbs me. So I make my way to go downstairs again. I know what I'm going to confront myself. Try and stop me from going downstairs. Then I don't go down there. I just go and find my husband. I go downstairs and there's a very happy little threesome going on downstairs. Camilla, Charles and some other man who I didn't know, chatting away. So I thought, right, this is your moment. So I went and sat down and joined in the conversation as though we were best friends. And I said, Camilla, I'd love to have a word with your husband. And she looked really uncomfortable, put her head down. She said, oh yes, ma'am. And I said to the two men, okay boys, just have a word with Camilla and I'll be up in a minute. And they shot upstairs like chickens with their heads. And I could feel upstairs all hell breaking loose. What is she going to do? So I said, Camilla, let's sit down. So we sat down and I was terrified now. And I said, Camilla, I'd just like to know that I know exactly what's going on. And she said, I don't know what you're talking about. And I said, I know what's going on between you and Charles. And I just want you to know that. And she said to me, very interesting, she said to me, you've got everything you've ever wanted. All the men in the world fall in love with you. You've got two beautiful children, what more do you want? And I didn't believe what she said anyway. So I said, I want my husband. And she said, well, and she looked down the whole time. I said to Camilla, I'm sorry I'm in the way. I obviously am in the way. And it must be hell for both of you. But I didn't know what's going on, don't you know? In the car on the way back, my husband was over me like a bad rash. I cried like I've never cried before. It was anger. It was 7 years of pent-up anger coming out. Cried. I didn't sleep that night. And the next morning I woke up.
You know what? Let's leave that alone. That's for the UK, not my problem. We have enough in the US to deal with. Even though I think the UK have their footprint in what's going on in the US. Alright. Next tweet. There's the squad throwing shit about that video that I just showed you. For standing ovation, if you're gonna demand people to stand because some woman is walking into a sporting event, then the whole idea of a standing ovation is lost. It's really laughable when the value of a firm is not measured by their tangible impact but on how many stood up when they walked in, who clapped, how loud were the cheers, and did the crowd barriers get filled. Yeah, that's something. Alright, so there's this here. Oh, that's me retweeting the other thing here. Okay, Diana forever. Her things would have been much brighter. That's this one. Okay, I put here. That's an ad. All right, much like when the heir walked into BAFTA unannounced and to silence when the pair of them entered. All I know is if Queen Elizabeth walked in, they wouldn't have had to pop people to get them to stand. It was pathetic to watch. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's always been like that. The monarchy is not about the impact. All right. Well, I guess this is why they feel comfortable to keep on taking money from the people. Would you be saying this if it was Harry and Meghan? I mean, Harry and Meghan, especially Meghan, she doesn't even want people to bow to her. Okay, no, you wouldn't. Once again, it's proving you're a bunch of hypocrites. Let me see what this happened. Okay, what people don't understand is that you don't have to stand or curtsy, shake their hands. The fact that people do is because they want to. Thank you, I know. All right, let me pause and respond to that. All right, so this is what I put here. No, Meghan doesn't even want people to curtsy to her. I went on Google. Oops. Yeah, I put this picture and oh, let me put the screenshot of what I did. Oh, I already deleted it. Okay, and this. All right. That's that. I don't know if you could see it properly. All right, I highlight this. She rejected curtsy from a woman at the One Young World Summit and instead offered a hug. All right, so that's that. So they could say whatever, but there's evidence she didn't want that. All right, so let's black her because I know they're gonna come and say da 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 da. Get them out of the way. All right, I think that was it. Yeah, that was that. So let's go to the next tweet. 87. All right. Harry and Meghan versus William and Kate. Okay, did I post this on my community board? I don't think I did. Okay, I'm not down with this rhetoric. William and Kate did everything possible to drive Meghan to want to take her own life. William and Kate constantly briefed the press nasty shit about Meghan. William told Jason to go to court and lie about Meghan, the stress of which caused her to lose her baby. William and Kate used the press to constantly target, dehumanize, belittle, and berated Meghan. Okay, I still think the UK and the world will benefit more from the British royal family if these two couples work together. Forget that. Okay, that's it. The bridge have been burned. Everything is done. William will never accept the fact that Harry is much brighter than him. Okay? He wanted the spotlight. William wanted the spotlight. He literally kicked his brother out, put it in writing to make sure he doesn't come back. All right? So now that he got the spotlight, he thought, okay, all the applause that he used to get when Harry was walking behind him, he thought that was all him. Meanwhile, it was Harry who was doing all the hard work. Okay? Harry mentioned in his book about the Invictus, how the Invictus game came about, and while I think Kate was pregnant and there was nothing being done, there's money that was sitting there, and he came with the idea of the Invictus, and he went to the board and they approved it. And once he went to, after he got the okay from the board, and he went to William and mentioned it to William, William was pissed. Okay? So all those ideas that we saw that was established over there, they are all Harry's work. Now that he pushed Harry out of the way so he could get all the spotlight, what are we seeing? Mediocre after mediocre, nonsense after nonsense. And he thought, hey, I got all the spotlight. He didn't think the spotlight also highlight stupidity as well. So it's done with. Harry's doing fine wherever he is with his wife. Okay, both of them were there to help them. Okay, Harry and Meghan understood the assignment. They know they're not gonna be the king or whatever. They were willing to work with them, but instead they didn't want to work with them. They kicked them out. So that's it. And that would have been very sad to see. Their talent would have been wasted over there. You saw the few seconds Meghan was over there. I call it a few seconds. Okay? How much work she did just that few seconds she was over there. And then these people were suppressing their talent. They even asked her to be 50% less of herself. Oh my God. All right, let's see. How can you work with a brother who operates like Cain and is so entitled he will always try and take you down behind the scene, then gaslight his brother that he's the problem, not him? You see, that's the thing I was saying. Sometimes you have to put distance between someone who has no plans to change for the better. Exactly. I agree with that 100%. Absolutely not. I can imagine the stress Harry and Meghan will be under in such an arrangement. William and Kate will smile while the courtiers whisper to the press. The press are the only one who will benefit. Yeah. And William too, because the press knows that they have to write positive thing all the time for William. Okay, if William and Kate bother to show a smidge of remorse, maybe I think definitely, but they literally just went on a briefing spree to the Daily Beast how Meghan is a manipulative social climber and Harry is a dumbass. Like F off. Yeah, forget that. The squad are satisfied the way things are. And I always say we have to thank William for that. Okay, his dumbass didn't see the gold mine that he had, but instead he was thinking of stupidity, and he let the gold mine go, and the rest of the world get to benefit from Harry and Meghan's work. Exactly. I unsubscribed to Daily Beast because of their obsession attacking Harry and Meghan. I mean, anyone who's been following me, there are things that I be highlighting. They all related to Harry and Meghan. Once I started looking, for those who are new, my original thing for coming on YouTube was to talk about US politics, the things that I was seeing. Okay, little bits and pieces here. I wasn't really into all of that. Okay, PYTE was the first channel. And then I started putting things here and there occasionally when I see something or I felt something, and I'll put it. Then I stumbled onto Harry and Meghan. And I was reading things here and there, headlines, the Daily Fail, all those tabloid papers. I probably was one of those who were clicking those articles and read and got pissed about it. Maybe the first few I was okay, just brush it off. And then when it was being consistent, and I was like, no, that can't be. I started questioning myself, and I was like, despite what the media have portrayed African American is, okay, always negative, and I was like, there's no way. Okay, there is absolutely no way a black woman who marry into that institution will behave the way the tabloid is saying. That's when I went on my quest and to search and question myself and things like that. The gold mine that I find, and thank God for the squad who were putting information about TIG, things I was not aware of. Okay, and I start plugging things together, and then I went into the Prince Andrew thing, the Epstein, the media, and all of that. Okay, they all related. All right, so there are many things that I've been talking about past video that are reflecting now about the media. I spoke about Will Lewis, Murdoch, all these things, how Will Lewis sort of inch himself into the US media kind of thing, the newspaper thing. I think he was working with Wall Street Journal. That's a Murdoch on paper, I believe. I could look it up. Just look on the screen, because once I'm editing, I'm gonna verify. And then move to, is it Washington Post or something like that? A lot of journalists who work for Washington Post were leaving because the way Will Lewis was turning Washington Post into, because Washington Post was a very well respected paper, talk about politics, tangible thing. But he went in there and started talking about stupid things. Okay, there was one example I remember. This particular person passed, I believe, in the shower or something like that. And then instead of figuring out how he died and things like that, what Will Lewis wanted the journalists to focus on is if McDonald's was the cause of his death. People were like, what the F? What McDonald's have to do with that? Unless there's evidence that he was eating McDonald's, but out of the blue, to find out if McDonald's was the cause. That's not journalists. Okay, so a lot of the journalists were leaving. And then let's not forget, Bojo's sister gave us a warning about how the US and France newspaper were not entertaining. So they moved here to turn it into this garbage that we are seeing now. And France needs to be careful because they might be the next one.
I find it hard to see who is the winner here. I mean, Prince Harry goading the press is only and forcing the press into humiliating payouts is not going to be particularly good for the Sussexes. And it's certainly not great for the press, which is on the hook. I think the total payouts for phone hacking and other illegal information gathering is up to $1 billion, and there are many, many more cases to try. So my point about all this is, I think we only have losers here, and it's in all our interests that we have a strong, vigorous, and honest press. And if it was strong, vigorous, and honest, I agree that the press would have reported more on the judgment, the Prince Harry judgment that came through on Friday, than it did. It was basically a broadcast story, far more than it was a print story. And of course, the print and broadcast are in competition, so you can sort of understand that. So my question is, who wins out of this? Has Prince Harry done the press lasting damage? Do you think that as a result of the judgment that went against Mirror Group newspapers, we're going to see some sort of state regulation of the press? I genuinely hope not. I don't want the press to be in the last chance saloon at all. I want to see newspapers thrive. This is my industry, and I think it's in all our interests that we have a thrive. And we got the most wonderful newspapers in the world in this country. You read the newspapers in the States or in France, they're very dull. They're not entertaining at all. I think that we can have both a serious and an entertaining press. And that's what I want to see survive. I don't want to see Prince Harry destroy the industry I love.
All right, just look what's happening to the US. Okay, for me, I look at what they did to Palestine, the way they inched to destroy, to create that war. It's happening in the US as well. So keep an eye on what's going on in the US, because it will inch out to France next. Okay, this is their next step. But they needed America to show the world how they behave so the rest could copy. But anyway, why did I bring all of this? If William and Kate, how the media is controlling the narrative. If William and Kate bothered to show a smidge of remorse, maybe I'd think differently. But they literally just went on a briefing spree to the Daily Beast how Meghan is manipulative, social climber, and Harry is a dumbass. Okay, so because they mentioned Daily Beast, I think it's a US-based paper, so they're talking about their nonsense. So which mean, whenever you see things like that is happening, from my perspective, from things that I'm aware of, whoever is the owner of Daily Beast or the, how do they call those people, the editor is, they must have something on them. Okay, the Epstein type of thing, they must have something on them so they could subdue. They have to submit to those people to keep on writing BS. If you don't allow this nonsense to be printed, we're going to release whatever it is that you did. All right? Like F off. And people need to be aware of this. This is what's happening. This is what's literally destroying America. All those people who's in who's in position of power, they have something on them. So they could shut their mouth. If you don't allow this to happen, or we're going to release the nonsense you did with kids, because they know what they did is wrong. All right? In my humble opinion, you cannot work with a couple that is envious and wants to be you. Not only that, they don't want to work with them. All right? They rather destroy you and then copy you. So you can't force somebody to want to work with you. They already show their cards. They already show themselves. Why would you want to be working with someone who doesn't want to work with you. All right. They are still acting like Harry and Meghan were the problem without holding those two lazy racists accountable for the evil things they did that forced the Sussexes out. Okay? Not only forced them out, he put it in writing, hired Simon Case to literally put it in writing to get him out. They hired Simon Case. It seems like Simon Case is someone who knows the law, and he knows how to maneuver around laws in the UK to make things happen. So that's why they hire him to do that. Okay, it's diabolical how some people erase William and Kate's primary role in driving Harry and Meghan out. Thank you. William more so than Kate, but Kate's hands are not clean. This is the thing that I've said before. With Kate, I know she has no choice because she has no say pretty much. But the thing is, if I was in her place, not that I want to, but if that was the case, and I see William and Harry are having their disagreement, two brothers, okay? I will tell my husband, do whatever you want to do, don't put me in it. I'll stay out of the way. And then when Meghan comes in the picture, I will find a way to convey to Meghan, look, I'm not part of this, I'm not going to contribute. Put it in a way where Meghan will understand. Okay, I'm just out. I see what's happening. I don't have any say on some of the things these people are doing, but if I don't speak with you when we go someplace, just understand why. Okay, that's what I would have said in the background, just me and Meghan. But the brothers, let them do whatever it is. Okay, I've been struggling to think who Prince William looks like, and here's the image of my brother here, my 70-year-old brother. Okay, where's the image? What is it? He looks like that character from what do you call this? From The Simpsons. After this, that's it. The idea was never that the four of them will work together. The plan was for Harry and Meghan to do all the work, and the other couple will appear alongside them to share the credits. LOL. I mean, I wish this is the thing that they're allowed to do, but the thing is that the papers know how things how the royal family are, but the paper keep on writing about Harry and Meghan, and then the others got jealous. But if I was in their shoes again, all I will say, if I know I cannot do some of the things Harry and Meghan are doing, I'll say, look, if you need funding or if you need whatever it is you need to do your project, let me know, so I will try to talk to the higher person, because you know William have more say than Harry, so I could get you the funding. In return, just attach my name next to it and let me go cut ribbon. Okay, that's what I would have done, and Harry and Meghan will do all the work. Okay, just attach my name to it and let me go cut ribbon and tell me what to say or something like that. And I think Harry and Meghan would understand, because I think their sole priority is to get to the people that need the help. Get the help, and anything in between, you want praise, hey, you could go get praise, but I'll make sure to let the people get the help that they need. Alright, this is what happened. Two heads together. Since Harry left the royal family, this initiative has disappeared. That was Harry's work. That's what I'm saying. All of the things that were happening over there, they all were Harry's work. And Harry put time and energy into those things. He reads, he listens. One of the things I remember reading, what is it? The Travelist CEO. When she went to meet with Harry for the first time, she was a little bit skeptical about Harry. But after the meeting, she was surprised to see that Harry knows a lot. So when Harry is into something, he does his research. Okay, he may not be that high university educated, but by being out there, talking to people and see things, listen, that's the key thing, listen to people, and then does his own research, he educates himself on some of those issues, and then guess what? Hire people who went to school, who studied this stuff to carry out his objective. These are the key things. I mean, I'm not Harry. This is not to say I will do better job than him or anything like that. But from seeing and reading some of the things that I've been looking into, that's the way that I see Harry have been doing. And this would have been a perfect model for the others. But they don't want to do good things. They just want to be evil, savage. Okay, this is the last one I'm reading here. Harry and Meghan should never go near the royal family ever again after what they did to them and continue to do. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Next tweet. This one took a little bit longer than what I wanted to. Okay, I want to get to that copy and paste thing. Alright, so this is a video. This gotta be the scariest type of people to have a relationship with. Alright, maybe this should have been last. What is this about? They hate you, but secretly they try too hard to be you. Alright, so that's pretty much what Kate and the leftovers are doing. 2 minutes and 28 seconds screenshot, okay?
One of the worst and most detrimental relationships that you can find yourself in is with someone who hates you and secretly wants to be you. You need to run. You need to protect yourself. You need to hide, because this person can take your life if it comes down to it.
That's right.
You do not understand, looking at someone and being in their company, how deep the river of jealousy may go with them.
That's right.
That's why when you get a whiff of it, you don't know if you're experiencing the top tippity point of the mountain, of the iceberg, or if you're getting a piece of the ginormous piece below that extends to the center of the earth. You don't know. But you have to vet the people in your life, the friends, the family, yes, the partners, because you don't know what you dealing with. The level of evil, the level of anger, the level of anguish that some people have towards you. You need to ask yourself, is this person malicious or not? Pay attention to their past experiences. Pay attention to what they've done to others. What do they say about others? How are they copying you?
And not only that, when you look at African American in the US, okay, the other groups wants to copy them and everything like that, but yet whenever they talk about African American, it's always in a negative way. This is the same thing. Look how much atrocity that they had done to African American, not just African American, blacks in particular. All right, but yet they copying everything that African American does. All right, let's continue.
How are they threatening you? Is it something they're doing behind the scenes? Is it something they're doing out in public? Is it something where you show up in an outfit, they showing up in that outfit? Like, you truly have to be careful, because this person close to your finances, close to your family, close to your future, could end everything you have going for yourself, and you wouldn't even see it coming. And what makes it extremely scary too is when your heart is pure, you are loving and caring and kind, and hey, let's go get a smoothie together.
They don't care about that. They don't care about that.
You're not even thinking about that. You're not even competing with anyone. If you're on your own frequency and you're loving yourself and you're just doing your thing, you would never even think to do these things or to act this way or to be this kind of person. But you have to remember, everybody is not like you. But it is your job to protect your damn self.
That's right.
Protect yourself before you wreck yourself.
That is true. That is true. Let's see here. I have experienced it. Scary OMG. Let's pause this. Meghan, Ron, Kate, and William, and the rest of them, they want to be you. Alright, so that's that. Let's go to the next tweet. Okay, so now we're moving to the assistant thing, who was copying Meghan's style. Okay, some of these I will read, and then there are other tweets that I have that retweeted them, so I'm not gonna read them again. All right, just once. So now that Natasha departed the hellhole that is KP, we can now expose her, literally following all of Meghan and her circle down to her makeup artist. This kitty girl is scary. Let's see here. Okay, so this is there's Daniel, Abigail. Okay, you could look at, if you can see it, Mandana Daini, Jessica Mulvoni. After what they did to Jessica, she just stayed out of the spotlight. As others have pointed out, she also follows Meghan's entire circle. Plus, yes, that's right. Okay, she tagged somebody here. This is a screenshot. Now we can stop pretending like Natasha and Kate haven't been closely following Meghan's wardrobe. Alright, so there's that. A screenshot of some of the accounts she follows. First off, congrats to Kate fan account. Her right-hand woman knows who you are, aka Kate does too. Wow. Okay. This book this week, and Natasha Archer opened up her once private IG public, and there is some interesting follows. I read somewhere where someone said, I don't know if I put it on the list, where someone said now that she left, she's just, she doesn't give a F, she's just burning bridges. Let people see. Another interesting follow and a circle I wrote and should post. I point out while Kate Middleton is absolutely on the Trump MAGA woman mood board, Ivanka could be on Kate's, or and the least they shop at similar brands because Ivanka's worn dresses we saw on Kate's after the fact. Okay, so there's all of this. Okay, you could pause and read that. There's more from Meghan, was it MM Grace on this investigation. Copy Kate. Okay, is that the thing I just read? Dresses we saw on Kate. Yeah, so that's the thing I just read. Another interesting follow. Me side eye is Gary Janetti one. He famously makes those memes pretending to be George, Kate Williams' son, where he says sassy things. At one point, the entire personnel was saying the most horrible things about Meghan, pretending it was coming from George, including that her baby bump was fake. These people are evil. They don't have anything positive in their mind. As we always said, there were no coincidences. It was done intentionally. The squad is never wrong. We've been here for a while and have seen the playbook. Pathetic. Since 2016, this is my third account. Okay, so we are basically confirming Mumbles is stalking everything my face do, and her, I guess my fave do, and her environment is enabling all this. Creepy. Okay, just validates what we all knew. Copy Kate. This is actually very, very disturbing. Funny enough, I can see both of them scrolling. Oh, let's try that. That would be cute, huh? You never know. I guess trying to keep Kitty up to date. Truth of the matter, Kitty looks at least 20 years older than her true age. Every few years, something happened to validate everything we've already known. Did she delete her Instagram? I can't find it. Very interesting. Alright, sidebar. Who in the hell will hire Natasha as a stylist or anything connected to fashion? You never know. She can even take a look as inspiration and make it a unique to her client. Mumbles has essentially been a fashion fail and a fashion jinx for as long as they've been working together. The thing is that what I realized, again, this is not to, I don't know what you may think of it, like to make excuses for Kate. The royal family, before you marry into them, you will be all lovely, smiley, bubbly. You have your own personality. But as soon as you marry into it, they make you wearing curtain dresses. Okay, but meanwhile, they effing other women outside of the marriage that be dressing, like the way their wives used to be before they marry into the royal family. Alright, she can even take a look. Okay, I read that already. Sussex squad out here being the A-class detective we are. That's the laugh here. Yeah. So no matter what would happen, they will like cut their wings and tame them. Okay, I've said this before, where they want to be the royal family. They want to be around people who's hype, like for instance, the Tom Cruise type, people who's making music, who's very popular. They want to be around these people. But once you get in their circle, they turn you into them. Okay, not them changing. They turning you into them. You cannot be more popular than them. All right, they inch into being with you, even though they have so much power to whatever. They let you in their circle. Meanwhile, they're trying to get closer to you. And then once you allowed you in their circle, they tame you. You cannot be more popular than them. Next tweet. Okay, now, okay, so that was that. That's a retweet again. The cat is out of the bag. That's the laugh here. I thought Kate said Meghan wanted her fashion contact. Why is Kate's personal assistant, Natasha, of 15 years following Meghan makeup artist and entire circle on IG? Creepy. Originality matters. Meghan is the blueprint. Alright, so she's leaving, but she's been copying Meghan. But you never know as well. It could easily be where Kate said, okay, there's Meghan out there doing her thing, minding her own business, and her, you know. And then she said to her stylist, I want to look just like Meghan. Okay, whatever dress she's making. Now, she probably did a couple things that's somewhat close to what Meghan was wearing. And she probably said, no, I don't like this. I want more like Meghan. So from this point on, they just copy Meghan and then give her the thing. And she doesn't see there's a problem with that. That's Kate, that is. Alright, so I read this already. Okay, so that's that. Let's go to the next tweet. The other one was extra, but I don't want to lose focus. I do not have the computer all day today. Hubby's working from home, so let's focus on the list. Frankly, there is something deeply troubling going on over at Kensington Palace. Middleton Stylish follows what Meghan wore account and all Meghan's closest friends, including non-celebrity ones like Heather, on Instagram. Tell me more how Middleton's change of wardrobe is just a coincidence. Alright, so I'll go into that in a few. Alright, this one is someone that I black. Pivot. This is effing effed. Pivot. How could Kate not be obsessed with Meghan? Everyone else is, including the British media, public, and her own fans. Kate can't stake on her looks anymore, and she doesn't have the bandwidth to grow, so she's stuck imitating the real deal. Even stalking Meghan, and as ever. That's the thing here. Alright, so that's an ad. So let's go into that retweet. Okay, so this is that the one that let me pause. A retweet of a retweet. Okay, I'm not gonna go into that because I already went into it. Middleton Stylish follows Meghan account and Meghan's closest friends. Okay, I read that already, so I wanted to read some of the comment. Meghan's wedding dress designer, Meghan's skincare specialist, Meghan's hair colorist, Meghan's best friends, Meghan's husband's best friend, the friend's wife, and his foundation, Archwell former president. Meg, babe, they truly love you. The thing is that it's hard to squad recognize all of them. My goodness. Wow. Middleton thought Meghan wanted her fashion contact. I know. It's even worse. What else now? This woman was following Meghan and her business before she removes them. Copycat. We need a cyber retraining order. Alright, let's pause this. After this, that's it. Okay, so this is the ad. Once I get to the ad. Natasha Archer is still following Gary Janetti, the one who has built his career out of mocking Meghan through caricatures with William and Kate's son. How kind of her. So Kate's stylist stalked Meghan's styles and vibe to give it to Kate. Got it. On so many levels, her effort melted upon arrival. It was a fail. Kate has a stylist. I guess it is. A stylist to copy Meghan. I mean, that was a easy money for 15 years. Well, Meghan wasn't there for 15 years. But once Meghan got into the picture, into the family, it makes things easier for her. Next tweet. I literally have no words for what I'm seeing regarding Natasha Archer's Instagram. I literally have no words. That's me here 7 hours ago. Plenty of words. Control A, Control C, Control V. This is effing insane. Abuse Meghan to no end and then effing stalked and copy her is crazy. I have many thoughts. None of them will be appropriate to say publicly. That's an ad. They have no shame. They just have no shame. For a public figure like that, they didn't think people will notice that. I mean, the squad have been calling it out for a very long time. Alright, so there's this here where she's copying. Kate Middleton's ex-stylist Instagram slip exposed years of Meg Sussex fashion tracking, proving the copycat claims were real. Alright, so there's that here. Thank you for the article. It's absolutely pathetic. Hilary Mantel described Kate Middleton as a shop window mannequin with no personality of her own. Well, now we know she also was Meghan's tailoring dummy. What a fictitious creature. I have no words. There's the clap here. Love reading your articles. Alright, so the next one is an ad. Let's go to the next tweet. I just started, but I'm getting tired. I'm almost done though. Alright, creepy AF. Duchess Meghan Grace on Insta peep that Kitty's ex-stylish follow Meghan's inner circle on Insta, so we can now stop acting that we don't know where Kitty got her inspiration from. Alright, so this is the same thing. She retweeted. Okay, OMG. To see this in contrast to this passage is... Alright, I post this on my community board, but let's see here. William, Kate, and their team took notice and altered course. Harry and Meghan had introduced the world to a new, more modern-looking royal, and it suddenly made the Cambridges, who for years had been the monarchy's hot young couple, appear a little dull in comparison. Though all similar in age, it's undeniable that during their glory days, the Sussexes connected with a younger generation of Brits in a way William and Kate never had. And so, over time, Kate's private secretaries and communications aide encouraged her to change her approach to engagement. Less listening and learning. What? Less listening. Was it in this video where I was saying when Harry goes places, he listens to people and, you know, and learn from the people. But they're saying here for those to do less of that, less listening and learning and more doing. How can you less listening and learning, more doing? It's like a chicken running without its head. Don't you have to at least pause and communicate with people to convey your thought? So there has to be some learning aspect. And you know what, let me just read. Encourage her to change her approach to engagement, less listening and learning, and more doing. Even her working wardrobe of formal coat dresses and structured pieces started to slowly transform into a more relaxed, business casual attire chosen by the California Duchess. Fashion choices change over time for anyone, but even a few aides at Buckingham Palace separately commented that Kate's sartorial evolution seemed far from coincidental, as an aide working with the Cambridges and Sussexes said to me in 2019, Meghan's arrival was a bit like a rocket up the... He paused mid-sentence, but I knew where he was going. Alright, so that's the only screenshot that I have. Okay, and this is an ad. Next tweet. Okay, making reference to the copy and paste, the wardrobe. Okay, holy effing shit. One day we're gonna talk about... Okay, so she retweeted this. That was back in 2022. Okay, and she posted that yesterday. Okay, she's retweeting something that was back in 2022. One day we're gonna talk about how, after being responsible for the attacks that pushed Meghan to the brink of suicide, Kate Middleton proceeded to steal her entire persona. Wow, no shame, no shame. Alright, I'm guessing they ask to copy, she delivers to replicate. Thus we have carbon copy. Meghan Sussex is the blueprint. Alright, Lord have mercy. The day has finally come. All has been revealed. Different coats. The Kate one is a Highland Cooper, a brand she often wears. But the thing is that at this high level, I could understand you could wear things twice, okay? But you cannot copy the thing that someone wear from the T, especially with the things that's going on in the tabloid that they themselves are manufacturing. Don't you think people will be looking? You don't have to copy to the T. You could, okay, I wear this jacket, maybe I'll wear a completely different color coat, but it's almost the same thing. All right, I remember liking every single post of that thread. Hannah was Nostradamus. All that, and hubby still won't choose her. That is one level 5 copying. The whole thread is creepy. All right, let me go into it and see what she's saying here. Oh, she put... Wow. Let's look at the image since I don't have to read. Wow. My goodness. My God, wow, this is unbelievable. See, this is the fashion squaddies. Well, at least this one is a different color. All right, I'll give her a pass on that, just because it's a different color, or maybe because that's a different whatever picture she choose. Look at that. Oh my God, that's so freaking embarrassing. Oh, you don't know how much I love this on Meghan. And she came and moving it. There's that. Alright, let's see here. Now take a look at the double standard. Meghan in 2018, Kate 2021. You could pause and read, but I'm not gonna read anymore. There's all those. There's more. Okay, and as if copying Meghan's outfit wasn't creepy enough, Kate also dresses Louis and Harry's baby clothes. Meghan in 2018, Kate today. Oh, my goodness, this was during the One Young World. 5 September 2022, 30 January 2023. He did so. There's that, December 2018, March 2023. January 10, 2018, February 21st, 2023. There's Meghan here. Okay, remember the amount of abuse Meghan faced for wearing a dark nail polish. Meghan 2023 and 2020. Okay, March, and this is April, same year. Let me go through it really quickly. This one is unbelievable. I remember that, the piano. There's no shame. There's no shame in her game. Yeah. She may copy her clothes, but she can never copy her charisma and intellect. I still don't understand what the point of copying Meghan is. Doesn't do anything but make her look creepy. At this point, I'm starting to believe her team just love making her look cray-cray. Could be, like I said, they probably ask her, the designer, can you make me look like this? And whatever they brought to her, she didn't accept, except for the one that is exactly like Meghan. They're like, okay, you want to wear it? That's fine. Let's go to the next tweet. 3 more tweets. Okay, next tweet. OMG, Kate is literally stalker. Her assistant Natasha was following as ever Abigail Spencer, Naturals, Delphina, Daniel, and other friends of Meghan. Alright, so there's that again. Last but not least, people have noticed Natasha's follower account is rapidly dropping during the mass unfollowing she probably should have done before making it public. But an eagle eye follower sent me a screenshot that Natasha did follow Meghan, including as ever. She doesn't anymore. Oh my God, the squad was something. Let's see here. Stalker alert. There's that. Assistant will not be doing something her boss did not agree with or ask her to do. Jelly, very jelly. Insecure and all jelly. Of course, Kate knew and encouraged it. They just never expected to be exposed. Someone said after she left that how do you call it, stylist, she just doesn't care, she just made it public. But I just read somewhere here, not in this one, in this video, that they don't see the account anymore. Maybe she closed it. These people are shameless about their stalking activities. It's pretty wild. Okay, the heir and his mayor need extensive therapy, not a king. That's, yeah, I agree with that. Okay, that's an ad. Let's go to the next tweet. These people are crazy. They need therapy. They do. All of them. They need therapy. 2 more left. All right. Every single one of Meghan's friends. Okay. Making reference to that. There's me here. Yep. And they're probably saying, I thought you hated me. Right. The effing audacity. No shame at all. They need to black her. There's that. We're going to start slapping some people, hoping for a Meghan sitting to get some ideas. That's an ad. Let's go to the next tweet. Whenever I reach the ads, time to move on. Hopefully I finish edit this tonight because I'm going to be very busy. Okay, so there's a TikTok video here. Okay, I don't ever want to get on his bedside. Okay, so there's some comments here. Let's listen to what he said and then I'll come back to read some of the comments here. Pause again. Oh my god, this one is pretty long, 4 minutes plus. Meghan didn't lie, she built. With poise, power, and 80 people on payroll, while this woman films rant into her phone, begging for relevance in the comment. Now the critics, a confession. Alright, so let's listen. 4 minutes, 7 seconds, screenshot.
She literally blatantly lied about how many crew members she had on her Netflix series. Very simplistic concept and setup is not going to entail 80 crew members on set.
Let's be honest, this was never about bath salts, essential oils, or how many crew members were on set. This was about you, a mediocre woman with a microphone, watching Meghan create something beautiful and realizing you couldn't. You weren't investigating, you were unraveling loudly, publicly, desperately. You're not mad that Meghan said there were 80 people on set. You're mad that she had 80 people working for her, while you're still DIYing your content, hoping someone in your comments calls you underrated. She had a professional team, a global platform, and the kind of aesthetic precision that requires real resources, not Pinterest boards and product hauls. But because you couldn't access it, you tried to discredit it. Because you couldn't replicate it, you tried to reduce it. Let's pull up receipts. Marie Kondo's Tidying Up, a quiet little show about folding shirts. Crew size, 80 to 100. Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop Labs, all candles and crystals, still had 80 plus behind the scenes. Chef's Table, minimal dialogue, maximum cinematic flair. 70 to 100 people. Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, a calm cooking series. Over 85 crew members, especially for international shoots. Lighting, grip, sound, set decorators, coordinators, COVID compliance, catering, glam, wardrobe, production design, legal, insurance, field producers. Ever heard of them? Apparently not. You thought Meghan was filming a Pinterest tutorial in her bathroom? No. This was a unionized Netflix production. That's a machine, not a vlog. Now, onto your next meltdown. Bath salts and essential oils. You really dug into the bottom of your recycled Whole Foods tote for that one. The faux concern over Meghan's bath salts being dangerous is giving Facebook mom group fear-mongering, not facts. Yes, some essential oils can be irritating in high concentrations, which is why the wellness industry uses dilution guidelines. It's basic chemistry. It's also why Meghan's team used professionally sourced ingredients, not homemade guesses. Do you honestly think Netflix, Archwell, or any production company would launch a global product without regulatory clearance? Be for fucking real. This isn't Etsy in 2011. Also, if edible flowers and bath salts is enough to send you into a spiral, I'd hate to see how you'd react to actual global issues. The truth is, you see her poise, her restraint, her ability to create at a scale you'll never reach, and you can't take it. You call it commentary, but it's envy. Every clipped sentence, every performative sigh, every eye roll you film in your front camera is just a low-budget expression of something deeper. You want what she has. You just can't become who she is. So you nitpick, you speculate, you accuse, you attack her bath salts because you can't touch her influence. You question her crew because you'll never command one. You mock her style because you have none of your own. And after all your effort, all your stitched rants, all your dramatic tone shifts, you're no closer to her than when you started. She's unbothered, unreachable, unaware. Because while you're refreshing your notifications, hoping your bitterness goes viral, Meghan is building, expanding, creating, living. She'll be remembered. You'll be recycled. This wasn't a critique. It was a confession of jealousy, of limitation, of smallness. And no matter how loud you get, you'll never matter more than the woman you can't stop talking about.
All right, so let's see some of the comments here. JTB is not here to play. And another one, there's the laugh here. Dee said there's the B word here, or unhinged, obsessed, lost, delusional, broke, and bitter. Yikes. Not today. Snow roaches. Not today. There's that. Envious, bitter, moldy old milk. No lifestyle hag. Should just zip it. They're yammering. They know nothing about production and what goes on. A professional production like With Love Meghan can involve 50 people upward. I'm in the industry 38 plus years, 29 years at my own company. I know it very well. Okay, the library is open. Meghan occupied a space where people sold yoni egg and the JJ and the JJ but Karen decided that the melanated princess sharing that she likes to make bath soak with Epsom salt like millions of people required to take down. Okay, now that's what I call a roast. But it's okay for you to rant misinformation every single day. What misinformation? Let's see here. There's 3 comments here. To call out the Rangers trolls, the truth hurts, doesn't it? That's exactly that. All right, so let's go back. Okay, this is the squad who retweeted that. My brother from another mother loved this guy. Never once did he stutter. He drops that jealous Karen LOL. He's a gullible F-wit. If he can't see through that, nobody effing grifter. Whatever. He come with facts. There was a tweet, there was a tweet that he put out where I think he made a mistake with something that he said, and he came out and said, this is the difference between the Sussex squad and the Derangers. When we know we make a mistake, we correct the mistake. Okay, none of us do. She'll be remembered, you'll be recycled. That's what he said in the thing. We need more of him. Give them the taste with the truth, not lies like the Derangers. I love it for them. Okay, so this is my last one.
Not if we all stand up.
She got some courage there. All right, so that's that. I'm not gonna go in the comments. I came across it, so I thought I'd share that. All right, let's do a prayer. What should we do prayer for? Prayer for, I guess, peace, compassion. These are the things that I've said. Tranquility. Let's do that. What did I say? Tranquility. Tranquility. All right, let's look for an image. Let's do this one. A prayer for anxiety. That's not exactly what I was. Serenity prayer. Okay, maybe let's just stick with that. A prayer for anxiety. Fortify me with the grace of your Holy Spirit and give your peace to my soul, that I may be free from all needless anxiety, solicited and worthy. Help me to desire always that which is pleasing and acceptable to you, so that your will may be my will. All right, so that's that. So much is going around the world. So please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. All right, so that's it. Thank you for watching.
Tanaka. It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.